Welcome to the Bikini Things podcast, where we talk everything fitness and competing and mental health and living a healthy lifestyle. I'm your host, IFBB Bikini Pro, Laura here with IFBB Bikini Pro, Sammy Joe. And we are so happy you're here with us, so let's get started. We have a very special guest today, IFBB Bikini Pro and Olympian Tara Grier.
Hello.
So we're very excited to have you here, Tara. You're officially our first guest in the
Yay!
studio.
Yay!
Yeah.
Syncing, 1, 2, 3.
We should explain that. Tara thought we were pranking her with the audio setup.
So because we all have Rode mics and we're using the camera, we had to sync the audio. So since Tara's in the center, I asked her to sync and clap for us, and she thought it was a joke.
I'm like, I'm very gullible, so I would have probably done it and been like, wait, you were being serious?
Awesome. Well, thank you again for coming in and being our first in-person guest. Super exciting.
Yes. Yeah, we appreciate you coming because we know you've got shows coming up in a few weeks.
Yes.
Is it Pittsburg Pro is the next one?
Pittsburg Pro's next. Okay. We're officially 2 weeks out. This is my first show that's on a Friday.
Okay.
I've never done a show on a Friday, and I feel like it's definitely going to be like a mental thing. Because I feel like peak week for me is, I call it my perfection week. Because all week, every single day, I have like a certain remedy of like doing my face stuff, doing the hair stuff, like, you know, putting tan on. And I feel like it's going to be weird doing it one day before.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's kind of stupid, but check-ins are usually on Fridays, and then, you know, Saturday is the big day, but Friday is going to be the big day, so
yeah.
It's going to be a little different. But
it's funny you say that whole little process, because we literally just did an episode about peak week and
really?
like what to expect.
Yeah.
And like
beauty
the little beauty self-care routine. So it's funny that you say you have like a set routine for that week.
It matters. It really does. Like I have, you know, face masks and hair masks and exfoliating and shaving and doing all the things. Can't get hurt. Like
yeah.
Like bubble wrap.
You gotta
seriously
schedule that.
Seriously, yeah, it's crazy. And my mom and her boyfriend are coming to my show.
Oh, that's exciting.
Because it's only like 5 hours away from where they live. So they're coming up, and I haven't seen them since the Olympia last year, so
okay.
I'm excited to see my mommy.
Yeah.
Really exciting.
That's awesome.
It's always nice to have like more than just like your coach or significant other at the show.
Yes,
it's
like definitely.
Nice
We need some extra screams.
Yeah. All the
some extra claps.
Yes.
Syncing 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
That's what we need up in Pittsburg, because it's going to be a tough one. But
you've had such an amazing, you know, last 2 seasons really, like this year, last year, and even before that, and that's part of why, I mean, outside of us being friends, why I wanted to have you on the podcast is because I think there's this perception out there, at least on social media, that you're this athlete who's just kind of come out of nowhere, and that's not really the case. Like I've seen you placing top five at shows since at least 2019, maybe earlier.
Yeah.
So I want to make sure that people kind of know a little more about you and understand who you are. So one of the things that we were talking about before this was just like your background. And I think before we jump into things like Arnold UK, your first Olympia, all that, we should probably go a little bit deeper and kind of step back and say, you know, talk about what got you into competing in bodybuilding and like what got you from where you are today, from where you started. So what did that look like for you, Tara? Like what was your background, or what even got you into the idea of competing?
So I have been an athlete for my entire life. Started gymnastics when I was only 18 months old. And then I started competing when I was only 4.
Wow.
So, I've been competing pretty much my entire life in sports, and in gymnastics, that is what taught me everything I know in competitive sports. Practicing every single day for 4 hours, competitions every single weekend. And in the summertime, that would be like our off season where we were, perfecting skills, learning new things, and then back into in season where we're competing every weekend. And I did that until, I was in high school. So, and then after that, I wanted to go into like team sports. So I went into field hockey and lacrosse, did really well in that. And I was also on the dance team in high school, so I was competing in that. Then after high school, kind of fell off a little bit, but I started going to the gym. Didn't really know what I was doing. I would see girls in there doing, cable flies and stuff, and I'm like, oh man, I want to do that. I was just one of those girls that would go and be scared and intimidated and go on the treadmill and like run a mile when I don't do that. But then after that, I got into powerlifting, actually. The old deadlift, squat, and bench press, and did that for about 3 years. So I learned a lot in that process, actually, lifting heavy and learning form and, really pushing myself to failure, and had a couple injuries here and there that I learned from too. But then it wasn't until I met Ash that I really got into bodybuilding. And, the first couple years we were together, I just kind of followed his lead and just, I don't know,
And let's clarify too for those that don't know you. So Ash is your fiance and your coach.
Yes, fiance and coach. We met in Vegas 7 years ago. That's a whole other story.
We'll do that on the after hours.
Yes, good idea. Or see Ashley's Instagram, because he just talks about me better than I talk about myself. But yeah, like everyone was asking me, Tara, are you gonna compete? And you know what I used to say? I would say, no, I don't want to lose my boobs. Like that was my thing. That's why I didn't want to compete. Because I didn't want to lose my boobs. Because I used to have some pretty nice natural boobs. And I lost them. Sad story. They went away. But it wasn't until Ashley was prepping for a show, and back in, I guess, 2016? Yeah, he was prepping for a show, and, guys, they're assholes when they're in prep. They're short-tempered and, I don't know, not very nice. So I asked him one day, I was like, why are you such an asshole? And he was like, why don't you try it? So 6 weeks later, I got on stage and won my class and, fell in love with the sport. So he was like, why don't we try nationals? And so we were living in Vegas at the time. That's why I did Patriots. That was my first show.
Okay.
2017.
And you said Vegas just did a 6-week prep?
Yeah, it was. I was already in shape, because the show that he competed at was in Vegas too. I think it was like a Jay Cutler Classic or something. And like the morning of his show, he looked at me and he was like, "Honestly, you could step on stage today too." And that's when I was kind of like, maybe I'll just do it. I feel like this is like kind of like my calling right now. Mm-hmm. So yeah, won my first show, and I remember coming off stage and a couple of the coaches, like Kim, a couple other ones, came up to me and was like, you look really good. Like, I can see you going to the Olympia one day. And I was like, whoa, like, that's cool. So, and my mom and my little brother had come out to see it, and we went to the Grand Canyon for a week after that. Didn't do a reverse diet or anything. That was, like, not very big back then. But then I came back, and Ash was like, you're still in shape, like, let's try to do nationals, because it was in Vegas, so we didn't really need to travel or anything. because our finances back then were not that great. So I was like, okay, well, I'll do my own hair, my own makeup, nails, whatever. And then Ashley's mom actually helped pay for my registration, which, thank you, Carol. And yeah, so I got ready for nationals, which was like 3 weeks later. So it was like a total of like, I don't know, 11 or 12 weeks that I was in prep. And, you know, going into national to USA's, I really had no expectations. It was my second show ever. I had no idea what was going on. I really didn't even know what a pro card was, to be honest. You know, and then like, we're backstage and I'm like, I had no idea what to do. I'm like pumping up for like 2 hours. Like everyone's pumping up. I'm like, all right, I guess I'll pump up too. Like, and I just go on stage and just, you know, I'm just myself. And I practice my posing religiously. Like that was probably my favorite thing about getting ready for my first show was posing and figuring that out. But when they called us out, they brought me right to the center and didn't move me. And then came back the next day and got my pro card. And I didn't really know what that meant, honestly.
Yeah.
But it's crazy to think that like I got my pro card so fast. But then to get my Olympia qualification took 6 years. Is like, it's like opposite of people.
Yeah.
It's opposite. But yeah, so, and then after I got my pro card, I ate pizza for breakfast like every day. Like, cause reverse dieting really wasn't like.
There wasn't as much info back then.
No, not at all.
Like, yeah, you didn't know as much.
But like, now, I mean, obviously we reverse diet, but like now I have such a hold on my food. But back then, I think I had some times where I did go off that I learned from. I feel like we all have to go through that at some point post-show, like eating shit and feeling like crap and feeling those feelings of, you know, not eating your meal prep. I feel like you have to go through that. To understand, you know, and I, you know, went through that for a couple weeks, and then I think, my first pro show I did the following January, got 11th, and I was pretty upset because I went into that show with expectations. When, you know, my pro card, I didn't have any expectations and went out there and just, you know, was having fun and being confident. And my pro debut, like, I went on stage with expectations and did, you know, weird things with my poses and just did stupid stuff on stage and felt like so much pressure, you know, to do well. But after that, I learned to not have any expectations, no matter who's competing, no matter what show it is. And then after that, it got a lot better. But yeah, I've been going strong here for like 7 years now. I mean, I've taken a couple years in between. Like after that, I think I did 2 shows, didn't do super well, and then went into I didn't really go into like off seasons for like the first 5 years of having my pro card. But one show in particular, 2019, was the Iron Games show.
Yeah.
That was my first show that I did in like 3 years. Because after I got my pro card, I became a trainer at Equinox. So I was strictly focusing on that and building my business. Then I had hernia surgery that kind of took me out. So then 2019 we came back and it was the biggest pro show in history.
Yeah, I was there.
Like,
I remember it.
Yeah, it was like
59.
59 girls, and I was so scared, so nervous. Yeah, and I got 5th. I'm like, what the heck, you know? So that was really cool. And I feel like after that, I was like, okay, like, I'm going somewhere, like, I can do this, you know, let me get it together. And took, I think, a couple of years off because COVID happened. Did a little bit of an off season there. And then 2022, I did okay. You know, I was getting like top 5.
Which shows did you do that year?
I did Texas, Republic of Texas. Okay. I started in Sacramento.
That's right. Okay.
So I started in Sacramento.
I remember that. Okay.
I think I got like second call out.
Yeah.
And then I went to I think it was a muscle contest show. Probably got 5th. Yeah, like I feel like every muscle contest show that I did before these last 2 years, I always got 5th. Like that was my thing. Like 5th place was my thing, and I'm like, am I just gonna be that girl that gets 5th place and then her career's done? Like I was, questioning it a lot actually. What else did I do? Oh, I think my best placing that year was 4th place at Patriots.
Maybe. That one's in July.
Yeah, I did Patriots. And then I think my last one was Republic of Texas, and I got like second call outs, and me and Ash were like, all right, let's take a break. So went into, a really serious off season for about 9 or 10 months. Was doing the same exact workout program for literally 9 months. Was eating about 3,000 calories in like a, big surplus. No drinking, 1 cheat meal a week, refeed, whatever. So it was that was my first like actual real off season. And then the next year, 2023 was the year when I went to the Olympia.
Yeah.
So take your off season serious, people, because that's where the magic happens.
Going off of what you said, going from first show to nationals to your pro debut, you said there was more expectation. Would you say that was more internal, like you put the expectation on yourself, or was it external factors putting that pressure? Because I feel like a lot of girls put big pressure on their pro debuts and take like years off to grow before doing their pro debut. So how would you say that process, like going from nationals, getting your pro card to the debut, like that process for you?
I don't know, like I don't think that when I got my pro card that I like felt like it was real. Like I don't know, like I don't think I really had the confidence yet either, because I had only done 2 shows. So I was like, but now I'm a pro, so like now like I should be doing well or something. So I guess I just had the expectation that that I was just gonna automatically do well, because like Ashley has always obviously hyped me up too. So like when he's like, you look so good, blah, 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 I'm like, yeah, like, and like I didn't really know like who everyone was. I wasn't like following people on Instagram yet, and it wasn't really as big back then either. So like everything wasn't all over social media. There wasn't the list that came out. So I guess I just had an expectation to like do better. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, and too, like, I feel like people doing their pro debut, right away, I feel like that's honestly better.
100%.
Getting off of a national stage, winning your pro card, and then get right into a pro show. Like, why not? You're a pro now, and they awarded you a pro card for a reason, so you're ready,
I feel like that was super beneficial. That's what I did. Yeah. And my feedback from Tyler was to jump into a pro show.
Yeah.
And it made my off season so much more intentional.
Yes.
Because I knew exactly what I needed to work on, as opposed to just taking a year off and just growing in general and then doing a pro show and then being told I'm too small or this needs improvement or that needs improvement. It was like, you look great the way you are right now. That's why we gave you a pro card. Now get on the pro stage and see where you're at against the other pros. Yeah. So like I would say going straight into pro debut is super important because you get the feedback you need to actually come back where you need to be. So I think it's really nice to do that, where I feel like a lot of people have this conception of, you know, taking a year off and then they make a huge deal of their pro debut. And I found recently that like not all places even announce that it's your pro debut. So it's like people put so much hype on it for themselves and then there's just no external hype for it. So it's like they hype themselves up for just another show. Yeah. So it's like they put so much pressure for like almost nothing.
Yeah. Agreed, yeah. I definitely wish I would have, because there was a show, Pacific USA's, right after USA's, and I definitely wish I would have just done that. Because I feel like it does give you more of a direction to go through. Like in going into an off-season after you get your pro card. I feel like it's very smart, so that's another tip. Get into your pro debut right after your national show.
What would you say in terms of like skills and habits did being an athlete help once you kind of started diving into the gym and bodybuilding?
Probably just the dedication of it all and going to the gym every day and eating all my meals every single day. I think the structure of a good schedule can be a habit. I mean, because I thrive off of a schedule. I have since I was a baby, my mom has told me. So, definitely having that schedule every single day. I mean, obviously I'm human and I went off of, you know, schedule and whatever when I got busy at Equinox and whatever, but definitely just still going to the gym every single day was a huge part of where I am right now.
I think another thing, just knowing you personally, that from my perspective, sets you apart from a lot of other athletes is your maybe like lack of caring about food. Like you're one of the few pros I think out there who will just eat exactly what you're supposed to, doesn't really care for cheat meals. I wish that was me.
A lot of people do.
Yeah, so I feel like you should speak on that a little bit too, because in the last 2 years, I've seen your progression, but I've known you, like I remember seeing you at Iron Games 2019. I've seen how much you've grown, and obviously nutrition and training are two huge components of bodybuilding, so maybe you could speak to that a little bit about how your approach to nutrition also has impacted your growth.
I've been pretty much eating the same food since I got my pro card. It was basically chicken and rice for 6 years, and that's all I ate. But I definitely think it helped that Ashley had a meal prep company, because we would just get food from the meal prep company, and that's all I would eat. Literally, all I would eat. If I had a cheat meal, it would just be, like, Ashley would be like, what do you want to have this weekend? And, like, I wasn't even thinking about it. Like, most people are, like, waiting, praying, hoping for a cheat meal, and I'm like, don't even care. Like, sorry, I don't care. I'm just like, okay, I'll just have it in and out. I don't know. He's like, why don't you like think about it? Like, you need to be prepared when I ask you, like, what do you want to have to eat? And I'm like, I don't freaking know, man. Like, I'll just eat whatever you're eating. Like, that's kind of like also the thing too. Like, I don't really have ideas of food that I care to eat. I'm so used to and accustomed to eating my meal prep that that's all I like now. And like anytime, you know, after a show, everyone's like, what do you want to eat, Tara? It's your day. And I'm like, I don't know. I really don't care. I'm not like that girl with the notepad of things that they've been craving all prep long and like writing it all down. Like, I don't know. Sometimes I have thoughts of like, oh, you know, I smell something in the car and I'm like, oh, that sounds good. But it just goes away. Mm-hmm. Like some people, like Ash, he gets a thought in his head of he wants something and he has to have it, or else like he like stresses about it for days. Like I need pizza, and I'm just not like that at all. Like I don't know, even growing up, I feel like maybe because I ate like whatever I wanted growing up, and my mom never put any kind of restrictions on food, or like was like, this is healthy, this is not healthy, or like, you know, we had a healthy dinner, but then I would eat ice cream every single night. So I feel like maybe that kind of helped me as an adult, not be like so restrictive around certain foods, and then like had this idea of like, oh, I don't know. Mm-hmm. It's weird. Like I just don't really.
I don't think it's weird. I think it's honestly, I think it's healthy and it is honestly kind of refreshing, because almost everyone is that girl with like the list of like foods that they're craving and stuff. So
has it been like that since you started bodybuilding, or just since you were an adult? Like did a switch flip one day, or
yeah, I guess it's probably from bodybuilding, because
like what Sam was asking is like, do we have hope to like change you?
Like how are you doing it? Because I'm the girl with the list, so
sorry.
I'm totally kidding. No, I'm totally.
I guess it's from bodybuilding and just having the structure, because when I'm in that structure every single day, that's what I'm used to. And then the one off day when I'm allowed to eat whatever I want, it's so debilitating to me to have to decide on what to eat. I don't want to have to decide either. Like I don't know.
That makes sense.
You know
it's
what
like
I mean?
You have a clear cut plan, literally 24/7, 365. That the one day it's like, what else do you want? And it's like, well, all I've been thinking about is just my next meal that I already have prepped for me. So when am I going to go outside and think more about it?
Yeah. Yes. And the thing too, if you go have a cheat meal and it upsets your stomach, then you like feel weird. Mm-hmm. You're bloated. Your workout might not be as good or something. So I get that.
And then also too, I feel like if I ever do have one off meal in that day, it makes me not want to have my meal prep. It makes you want to have more food. Mm-hmm. So like I also know that, and that's why I just stick to my meals, because I have freaking goals. Mm-hmm. And you're not going to get anywhere in bodybuilding balanced. Like I don't think bodybuilding, you can live a balanced lifestyle. It is bodybuilding for a reason, and if, you know, you want to have balance in your life, then, I don't know, go back to lifestyle. Because, like, seriously, like, bodybuilding is, you are always on. Every freaking meal counts. Mm-hmm. Like, every meal counts, every second of the day counts, every sip of your water counts, like, and that's all that I know, and that's how I've, you know, gotten this far. Yeah. I just take it seriously. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't see it as a joke at all. Like it's extremely serious to me, and that's why I feel like I don't want to have. I mean, like I can afford to have a meal off plan. Like nothing happens to me. Like some people, they eat something and it like you know, they gain a few pounds in the next few days, but that doesn't happen to me. So like I really could afford to eat what if I wanted to, but I also never want to cheat on my diet because my coach lives with me. So he will always know if I try to hide something, like I've, you know, never even tried, because I respect him too. And like one time he took my creamer out 2 years ago and I had a little creamer and I used the spoon to stir the coffee, and then I took the spoon out and put it on the counter,
and he saw the spoon.
And he saw the spoon with the creamer and flipped out on me and was like, "You're having creamer," you know. So like after that one time, when he tells me something to do, I do it, and if he tells me to take creamer out, I take creamer out. So yeah, listen to your coach. You know, they're giving you direction for a reason, because, I don't know.
I think that's a good point, though, because I feel like sometimes, or most of the time, people try to sugarcoat it, and it's like, yeah, you can do it and be balanced and have the best of both worlds, and I feel like that's, you know, where the hard truth comes in.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, do you want to be successful in this? Are you going to take it serious? And where do you want to go? Do you want to go to Olympia? Do you want your pro card? Do you want to qualify for nationals? If you want those things, then you need to act like you want it. You need to take the steps and the measurements to act like you want it. If you're begging your coach for a cheat meal every week, then maybe this isn't the lifestyle for you. And that's the hard pill for some people to swallow. And I feel like we're in this, and I hate to say it, but like we're in this phase of the world or in life that like we feel the need to like watch what we say around people and
soft
and things like that. And it's like
people are getting soft, okay?
Yeah, and it's like, and we are in a female industry, like, you know, naturally we're working with women and things like that. So it's like you want to be conscious of people's emotions and how they handle things, but you also want to tell them the honest truth. You don't want to lead them on and be like, well, sweetheart, it's okay you ate In-N-Out last night with your family, like, we'll make it work. We'll make it work, but it might take a little bit longer now, or like maybe your body didn't process it the way that some people could process that. So it's like we teeter on this fine line of like, you know, making sure we're soft with people's emotions, but then also needing to deliver the hard, honest truth to people. And it's like, if you want to be successful and you want to take this serious, it's like when talking to a client, I'm usually like, all right, well, how serious about this are you? Like, what's your long-term goal? What's your end goal? And it's like, how willing are you to achieve that goal? And it's like, you know, cut out. If I have to coddle it, then I'll coddle it. But just know that we're not going to get there as fast. If you're ready to take the hard, honest truth, we'll deliver it and, you know, get there sooner.
Like post-show, like, okay, have a dinner that night, have breakfast the next morning, and then get back on your plan. Like, as soon as you start taking every single day after your show and you start eating a little bit here and there and here and there, that turns into bad news. Like, and that's for me, like, I'm able to have that one meal and get back to it the next day and go back to my schedule. And that's the best way to do it. It's just get right back to the schedule, get right back to, you know, getting down and serious, and that's how we,
Well, I remember after Iron Games this past year, right? So we all did that show in September, and we went to Cheesecake Factory. And you got, I forget what it was, like, I think I just have, like, a very vivid memory of that night, like, you had, like, steak and, like, pasta or something.
And the shrimp scampi.
And you couldn't have looked, like, more apathetic about the meal. Like, I remember, because there were several of us, right, that had competed, and so some girls were like, oh my gosh, and I think I was a fatty, because it was, like, my last show, and I'd been pretty harshly diagnosed.
I was gonna say,
I got, you know, and I didn't play, so I'm, like, in my field, so I'm, like, I'm getting a burger. And, like, I just remember you were so, like, apathetic about it, and it's just like in my head I'm like, damn, Tara is like God's like, it's just it's impressive, because I know that's how I should be. And even for myself, it's not like I'm an unstructured person. Like, even in my off seasons, I tracked macros or followed a meal plan for years, but I definitely have more maybe off plan moments than you do by a long shot. And I think a lot of people want to compete because they like what it looks like on social media, but the reality is they're a little soft. And they're not willing to do the work that it takes to really look good or to really be competitive. So I think it's good that they hear someone who's actually being real about it and isn't coddling or isn't like, oh, no, it's fine if you're, you know, just goofing around. Like, no, the reality is, like, it's a competition. These are competitions, and everyone has different genetics. So you might be competing against girls who not only have better genetics, but are not doing the things that you're doing. So you're only setting yourself back if you're not focused.
Every day counts. It really does, if you want to be serious.
What was it like getting your first pro win?
Oh my gosh.
Miss ATL.
Miss ATL! Oh gosh. Well, I'm doing that show again this year.
Yes, you should. Defend your title.
Which I'm excited about. Go back to the ATL. That was a great time. It was really nice that Global was there, so Jacob could hand me my trophy. But yeah, that was gonna be like the last try of the season. That was like gonna be like the last show of the season. Like, let's just give it one more try. Went out to the ATL, and I, didn't really have any expectations because I was just like kind of burnt out, like, ready to be done for the season.
What number show was that for you that season?
6.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah,
so
what were the shows you did last year?
Gosh. I know I did Nevada State. I got 4th. The DC Pro, which my family got to come see. I got 3rd at that one. I did Republic of Texas again last year, and I got 5th, which was big because the year before that I got 11th, I think. So that was like
It's like competitive. That was a competitive show.
It was, yeah. Alexis won that show. I was like so happy for her.
Mm-hmm.
And then one other one, I think. I don't remember.
Iron Games.
No, that was.
Iron Games was after ATL.
Oh,
yeah.
Atlanta.
Yeah. ATL. I don't remember.
Was there another one locally?
Wait, maybe not. Oh wait, did I do the Anaheim one?
Too.
Did I do the? No, San Diego was the first one I did. The Night of Champions.
Okay.
I got 3rd. Yeah, that's the one that Savannah won.
Okay. Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, so I was getting like 3rd, 4th, 5th all year long, and we're like, dude, we're so close. Like, man, so went into it and just gave it my all. Wore Jess's suits. Was it the first time I wore that color? No, I wore it at Texas. But so my feedback from Tyler all year was that I was coming in too lean. So for Atlanta, I was actually getting my period that week. So like I was, a little bit, whenever I'm going into a show and I'm getting my period, I get a little bit fuller, which actually helps my look. But didn't help for the Olympia. I'll talk about that in a little bit. But so for Atlanta, we added more fats to help slow down my metabolism. Because once I've been in prep for so long, my metabolism is crazy high. So I'm having to eat a lot into the show. So we wanted to try fats to slow down like the carbs. And that was the answer. But when me and Adair were in like top 2, I was like, oh man, like I feel like it's really close between me and her. And we both looked at each other like, well, we'll both be like really happy for each other, like whoever wins, whatever. And when we went backstage and I heard that they were doing interviews with the winner on stage, I was like, oh man, I kind of hope I get second.
You're like,
yeah,
you get your speech ready.
Yeah, right? I'm like, dude, I don't want to win now. Oh my God. And then when they were announcing second place, I was like, I thought it was going to be me. So I like started like kind of like walking out, and then they called Adair, and I'm like, oh my God, I freaking won, man. I gotta do the speech. Oh man, so then I did pretty good because it was actually live streamed, so like all my family was watching, and but I did pretty good on my interview. It's my first interview on the stage, and Jourdain was there, and she gave me like a nice little pep talk afterwards, which was nice. And then like getting feedback backstage was the first time that they were like, you were perfect. And that's like so nice to hear. Like after all of these years, like you need to grow your glutes, you need to bring your legs up, you need to do this, you need that, and then to finally hear like you were perfect, it's like, oh my gosh, like that was such a relief. I think that was like the most memorable thing, was like you got it, Ash ran backstage. He's crying, like, picks me up, spins me around. Took a bunch of pictures. And then we went out and got pizza afterwards. I didn't pick that, I don't think.
Clearly, as a stranger.
I don't think I picked that.
I feel like Ash picked that.
Yeah, because they were like, what do you want to eat? And I'm like, dude, I don't freaking know, man. Actually, after the Iron Games, the big show, I didn't eat anything. Like, sometimes, like, I just don't even, like, because also, too, I had to eat so much going to the show.
Oh, yeah.
I think, too,
hungry.
I'm just not even hungry. I'm just, like, full. Mm-hmm. So I think, too, like, I just, like, want to have water afterwards. But, yeah, that was freaking cool. I mean, I think another big thing afterwards is just having everyone, like, congratulating you. Because after that was USA's. Mm-hmm. So, like, seeing everyone and them, like, congratulating me, like, going to the Olympia, like, I think that was the coolest part. Because then after that, it kind of, like, the excitement dies down a little bit. And then, yeah, did that Iron Games show. And I really wasn't, like, I was in prep, but I was eating, like, 2,700 calories and just doing, like, a step count. Like, I wasn't even doing any cardio. Mm-hmm. But after that show, I was kind of like, all right, we need to, like, buckle it down again. And going into the Olympia, going to the Orlando, we went out, like, a week early, stayed in this really cute Airbnb, had a pool, so I was, like, big chilling. And yeah, that week I was looking really good. That Wednesday, Ashley took a picture of my back shot, and I was like, dang, like, my glutes look really good today. And then I got my period. So, like, our whole peak week protocol, like, got, pretty messed up. And
so why do you think it worked against you
that time?
When it didn't.
So, Atlanta, I got my period the night of the show. So after I got off stage, but then for the Olympia, getting it like a day before, I think is what was the difference, because I did not look the same I looked on Wednesday on Saturday. Because usually when we know that I'm getting my period, Ashley takes my salt down. He takes my salt down and, like, does some manipulations with, carbs and fats. But we didn't do any of that leading into the Olympia. And I don't know, it was just a little off. And then the day of the Olympia, I think I had maybe 1 or 2 meals. And then we get to the venue because they told us that we were going on stage at a certain time. And then they ended up taking an hour-long intermission. So we were not prepared for that at all.
I remember.
So I definitely missed my peak, for sure.
Oh, shoot.
Definitely missed my peak, and backstage it was just, like, pretty overwhelming. So many girls, like, in the mirrors and pumping up, so I didn't really, like, look at myself in the mirror before going on. And, like, when I saw, like, the pictures, like, my stage shots, my whole, like, bang, like, had fallen. My face was, like, oily. Like, I definitely now always look at myself in the mirror before I go on stage, because things can change in a few hours with your face and your hair.
Yeah. I really don't think, because I was there.
Yeah.
I don't think it looked like that.
Well, I mean,
yeah.
for me,
For you,
yeah.
but even then, like,
Yeah.
I remember you posting after the Olympia how you felt frustrated that you didn't move your hair.
Yes, the hair, yes.
And like that I would agree with, right?
Yeah.
But we all do make mistakes on stage sometime, but overall, like, I thought your look was good. I was sitting with Angeline.
Yeah,
So that was actually kind of cool to have her commentary of all the posing and stuff too, and sit with her.
Yes.
And like overall, I thought you did a great job. It's the Olympia. It's like it's not just like a few amazing athletes. It's like the very top girls in the world. Everyone looks really good. So it's hard. It's so hard to separate, the call outs.
Yeah. So, I mean, like I was so nervous, honestly, going on that stage, and like that was the first time that I had competed at an expo. So I was, going out and then like it's being bright so you can see the sea of people looking at you. I was not really prepared for that at all. Yeah, I didn't really know what to expect going into Olympia. And just kind of like wanted to have fun. And I definitely had fun, backstage and getting ready and everything and meeting all the girls, but I feel like if I get the chance to go again, it'll be different for sure. I feel like that kind of helped me going into UK.
I was just gonna ask, how was the comparison of doing Olympia and then Arnold UK?
Yeah, I feel like doing Olympia helped going into this year. Because before this, I hadn't really done any big shows. All of them were like, like muscle contest, local shows, like lower tier level shows with, a lot less girls. And doing the Olympia is like my first big show. I hadn't really even done like the Pittsburg or New York Pro yet. So going into the UK, I felt a lot more prepared. And just like the fine details of things, I guess. And Ashley, had a lot better understanding of my body, and understanding that I need a lot more food because I kept still coming in too lean, So finally realizing that I need 300 grams of carbs every day leading up to the show really, really helped. And I mean, getting out to the UK was a roller coaster of emotions and stress because our flights were getting delayed and canceled.
Oh, jeez.
And the Lufthansa, they went on strike the day that we were supposed to leave. And so Ash was on the phone, on hold for, 4+ hours trying to get everything taken care of. And it was actually my client in the UK who found us a flight.
Oh, wow.
So we had to book a whole new flight, and it was leaving in like 2 hours at LAX. So we had to hop in the Uber so fast, get down to LAX, and we literally walked up to the gate when they were boarding. Or like... I need to get out to the UK right now. Because Ash looked at me at one point, he's like, I don't think we're going to be able to get out there. And I'm like, bro, we need to get out there. Like, what?
That's not an option.
I'm like, that's not an option. Like, I was so upset. Like, oh my gosh.
Cortisol levels, like...
I know, right? So much shit. Like, we can't be stressing right now. And I was so nervous and scared about the flight because that was the first time that that was the longest flight I've ever taken. But it was fine. Wore my compression socks. That definitely helped. But yeah, didn't hold any water, which luckily. And we got there. There was some weird stuff that happened with our Airbnb. But like, I don't know. The UK, the addresses are like not accurate or something. Like the guy that was hosting our Airbnb, he gave Ash the wrong address like twice. And so like the Uber like dropped us off and like we're like, this is not it. So then when we finally found it, I walk in and I'm like, oh gosh, like this is pretty nasty.
Oh no.
The bathroom was like, the shower was part of the bathroom. They called it like a wet room or something. So there was no separation
division. It's all just,
between the shower and the toilet. And I was like, I am not doing my perfect week prep or peak week in the shower.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the molding was like brown.
Oh gosh.
And I'm like, and then there was like this like little like 4x6 mirror. And I'm like, I'm not a big complainer, but at this point I was complaining.
Yeah.
And Ash was like, why are you complaining so bad? I'm like, I'm gonna get ready for the Arnold UK in this place. No. I'm like, this is not gonna work.
One of the biggest shows.
Yeah, I'm like,
at
dude,
that point you have the ability to be picky.
yeah, I'm like, dude, I want to have a nice space to get ready and like be here for like, because we were gonna be there for like 2 weeks, because we stayed like a week afterwards. So, we, go to bed for the first night, and then the next morning, Ash goes and does fasted cardio, and then he comes back, and he goes to take a shower. Thank God. The shower, the floor, it was not draining, so the shower floor was flooding, and so he like called the guy, and the guy was like, yeah, I'll like send out a plumber. And, but then Ash got on the phone and got us a new place. And I'm like, oh my God. Thank you. So we go to this new place and it was so much better, had an actual bathtub. I'm like, okay, now we are settled. This is amazing.
I can exfoliate and
I
shave
can do my whole skincare, my hair mask, I can do all the things and feel comfortable. And that definitely helped because that's, you want to be able to relax and be comfortable that week, Peak week is still very serious and very important. That's like, whatever.
Yeah.
So, and I feel like the food out there, I don't know, something about the food and just like definitely helped my physique. I was eating these pre-made packaged pancakes every morning, and they were so freaking good. And they had back bacon. I don't know where Ashley came up with this diet for me this week, but we were doing like pancakes and bacon and honey. Was so good, and then doing like 300 grams of rice in 5 meals.
Oh wow.
I was gagging, okay?
That's a lot of food.
It was a lot of food. It was a lot of food. Because we were just, trying to soften up these legs, get those glutes nice and full. And that's my biggest struggle is keeping my waistline down with having to still eat all that food. But so... yeah, that week was good. The weather wasn't too bad. The gym that we were training at was really nice. And then, what else? The check-ins, that was like pretty short and sweet. And then we did the meet and greet. Nobody knows Tara, so nobody came up to my booth, unfortunately. But it was still nice to, still be in that environment with everybody. And then, day of the show, got my makeup done by Amber, and it looked so good. Because V was supposed to come out, but she ended up not coming out, so Amber did my makeup, and it looked so good. And it was my first time wearing that pink suit.
Oh, that's right.
So I was a little worried about like what colors I would do, and she absolutely killed it. I felt so beautiful, and so excited to wear the pink suit.
The pink was a vibe.
It was it. Like everyone was like, "Dude, this is the look." Like even guys. And when guys give you compliments on your suit, that's it. And so first they like send us to this like one room. It was really nice, very well run. Like the expo at Arnold UK was top notch. Like everything was so clean and like spaced out so nice. The hallways were like so big and like it was just really, really nice. Yeah, first they like sent us to one room and then they had like somebody like taking us to the backstage. The backstage was huge. It was so nice. And we were backstage for a little while hanging out and had Judge Sandy had come over and talked to me and Vanya and Phoebe for a little bit. And honestly, I think that actually helped me calm my nerves so much talking to her backstage before we went up on stage. Like I didn't realize how much that like helped me.
Yeah.
Like
was
seeing
there
her.
Something she like said to you, or was it just the fact that she was there?
It was just the fact that we were just like having like a good conversation and like seeing her before going on stage, and it wasn't just like going up on the stage and seeing her. It was like seeing her as like a person and not just a judge. Because I hadn't really, I don't know, talked to her that much before. Like I always get really intimidated by her. Obviously she's, you know, Sandy. But it was really nice to get to talk to Sandy before. So I had no expectations, obviously, for that show either. I was just really hoping for first call-outs. But felt like I did my routine really good. And when they called us out, you know, they called me out in first call-outs, and I was like, okay, cool. And then they put me in the center, and I'm like, wait, what? I'm like, what is happening? And then they kept me in the center, and I'm like, what is going on right now? And like and then they called back the top four, and me and Vanya were in the center, and like we get off stage, and we both were like, girl, like this is our moment right now. And again, like with me and Adair, me and Vanya were like, you know, we'll be so happy for each other. Like whoever wins, like we'll be so happy for each other. And we were just so excited. And oh my gosh, I was freaking out. Like, oh my gosh, it was, I can't explain the feeling. But so we had a lot of time in between and went back to the Airbnb. I actually took a nap. I'm surprised I could fall asleep. Took a little bit of a nap and then went back for finals. So that's another thing with the Olympia. I feel like because I didn't go to finals that it felt like a normal show. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it has to feel weird, right?
Yeah.
Only doing pre-judging, because if you're at the Olympia, only top 10 are doing their routines.
Yeah.
So I could completely imagine how that would be a very weird, like almost incomplete feeling.
Yes.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, you get on stage, you do your routine, and then like your day's over.
Yeah.
Especially like being used to like you won and you're getting top 5 and you're constantly going back and you're getting some type of award and some type of recognition.
Even at the San Diego show, you know, where it's like flooding, right? They still did finals.
Yes,
right?
exactly.
I would imagine it's a very incomplete feeling to only do prejudging.
Yeah, so it didn't even really feel like I went to the Olympia, to be honest. But it was still a good time because my family was there, so we like had a little vacation afterwards.
So what was that like at the Arnold UK, like going to finals with Vanya? Okay,
so went backstage and Arnold was still up on the stage. He had like a little meet and greet or whatever. And my friend Kaylin gave me Arnold's newest book to read and to get him his signature. And so like weeks leading up to the Arnold, I was reading his book and like getting so inspired, so motivated, and like manifesting that I would meet Arnold on stage and like shake his hand on stage. Like I just like kept imagining it. Arnold has been like, you know, that guy in my life for a very long time. Like when I first turned pro, people will be like, what even is an IFBB? And I'm like, do you know Arnold Schwarzenegger? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, okay, I do what he did. Like, you know, so that was like, he was who like I, you know, he is bodybuilding. Like that's, so I've always looked up to him, and getting to do his show was like such a huge honor. And reading his book and like having that like thought and manifestation of meeting him was everything to me. And I was like telling all the girls how like I wanted him to sign my book. And so we're like backstage, we're like having to wait a little while, honestly, because they were trying to get the live stream figured out. And Arnold was like walking around backstage. So I'm like, here's my opportunity. I'm like, Tara, don't be a little bitch right now. Just go out there and say something to him. And so I went out there. I'm like all like timid. I'm like, can you sign my book? And he's like, sure. So, and actually, I still haven't posted it, but Phoebe actually got a video of him signing my book.
Oh, that's awesome.
I need to post that.
I need to post it. Yeah, I've just been like trying to like figure out how, if I want to caption it or whatever, but he signed my book, and then I like come back in the backstage room and I like start crying. I'm like, oh my God, Arnold just signed my book. And everyone, like, Angelica was like, don't cry, girl, you're gonna mess up your makeup. And I'm like, dude, that was, like, the biggest moment ever for me. And then, so that was really exciting. And then, going back up on stage, I had no idea that Arnold was gonna be sitting in the front row right there. Like, he's, like, chilling in, like, recliner chairs. And I'm like, what the hell? So I walk up, and I don't know, I like, rewatched the Gilco video again, and you can see my eyes, like, starstruck. and then, like, I talked to my family afterwards. They were like, oh, yeah, Tara, we could see it in your face that you were, like, shocked. Because, I mean, obviously, there's, like, hundreds of people out in the audience, and the live stream, and Arnold. Like, I'm literally doing my posing routine for Arnold. Like, that was insane to me. Yes, it was the only person I was looking at. Because usually it's the judges that are down there, but it was Arnold. I'm like, holy shit. I didn't even know where the judges were. Like, I'm like, where are they? Like, I couldn't even see them until, like, afterwards. And so, like, you know, try to do my routine as best as I could to impress Arnold. And then, yeah, like, when we go back up for awards, me and Vanya definitely had a moment for sure. Like, I was shaking so hard, and she was like, calm down. It's gonna be okay. And yeah, I was so happy for her. She's been competing for a really long time too. Like, I was really happy to see her win. But still, getting second place, like, I literally couldn't sleep that night. Like, I could not sleep. I was so in shock and just like, I did that, you know, like all these years of eating my meal prep and paid off. Like, it was just, and the pink suit.
The pink suit was so good.
Yeah.
And
then the package, just in general, everything just was perfect.
It was perfect, yeah. And, like, Tyler's recap video afterwards, like, saying how, like, good my glutes were. Like, I listened to that recap over and over again. Tyler, speak to me. Yeah. So that was just, like, amazing. And then on Sunday, got to hang out. My client from London came and saw the show. And we got to go out to lunch with her, which was really nice. And then, like, went to, like, a bar because it was St. Patty's Day. So I was like, I need to have a beer, you know. I don't normally drink, obviously. I'm always in prep, but Ashley actually hates when I say that. I'm always in prep, and he's like, he hates when I say that. But I'm like, I am. I'm
not saying it's a bad thing.
I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm like, I'm always in prep. I mean, like, sometimes, okay, I guess it would be nice to have a break, but I don't know. It's, like, weird to have a break.
I think even if you're not, because I remember when we did that Toxic Angels content around Christmas.
Yeah.
And you were off from the Olympia. Yeah. Like, you're still just very structured. Like, to me, you live the way that open bodybuilders who are going for Mr. Olympia are. Like, they might be off season, but they still follow a meal plan. Yeah. They're still very structured. So even if you're not in prep, like, dieting, like, you're very focused.
Yeah, that's like still a break. If you're like, it's like a break from doing shows.
Or it's like maybe a break from being in a deficit or a break from dieting.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that pretty much wraps up Arnold UK.
Yes.
So what should we expect from Tara next?
So we have Pittsburg Pro in 2 weeks, and then flight and hotel are booked for the ATL Pro again. So we're doing the Atlanta Pro.
When is that one?
July 13th.
Okay.
The day of Mary and AJ's baby shower.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
I was like, at least I'll get to go to the baby shower. And then, nope.
No.
So we have that in the plans, and nothing else.
Okay.
So, if I don't win Atlanta, Ashley is thinking of just like going into off season and not even, trying to get back to the O this year, because I have been in prep for a long time. And Tyler kept saying to bring my legs up a little bit more to match my glutes, so probably could use a little bit of an off season for that. Because everything else, like, I don't really need an off season. Because I'm okay. Like, I don't. Like,
at the same
but...
And at the same time, I think you're so structured that making improve, like, I feel like you've only improved, like, the last 2 years, 2-3 years, you're only getting better and better. And so even if you're not like out of prep often, you're eating enough calories, your physique is getting better, so
because I'm eating a lot still too. Like,
so you're constantly improving even in prep.
Even in prep, because like I think my calories, he adjusted them this week, but like before this week they were still at like 2,200. So I'm still eating a decent amount of food, and then even leading into the show, like I'm still I'm eating a lot. So my metabolism's good, my hormones are fine. I don't really need any like kind of break to like get my hormones back in check kind of thing. Like, I'm still getting my period every month. Feeling good.
Good.
That's awesome, because I feel like that's one thing that a lot of people struggle with or they come across. So it's great that at your level, doing what you're doing, everything is still like balanced and in check.
Yeah. So I'm sleeping good, getting my 8 hours of sleep every night. I'm still, working fine. Like, it's not like I'm struggling to get to work or anything. Still training all my clients. Still doing the hard things every day, and this is just my life.
Yeah.
But yes, I think that's just it right now.
Well, we'll be excited to see you on stage at Pittsburg.
Yes.
There is a live stream, so if you can't make it, that'll be really good. Yes. Where can people find you or Ash for coaching or social media?
So my Instagram is IFBB Grier, and then my coach Ash's page is form. I don't know if it's form_fit or formfit_coaching.
We'll include it in the episode description, so you guys
show
can
notes, all
find
those things.
Because if you want to know more about me, you gotta follow Ash.
And you'll be speaking once per week.
Once a week.
Tara has committed to speak 1 time per week on her Instagram story. So
it's a goal, okay? It's a goal. I don't know if it's gonna get reached, but and then we just actually started a YouTube channel with my workouts, which has been, a big leap for me. We never really film my workouts, so that has been. We actually got in a fight the second time we tried to do it, because he's like zooming in on my face with the camera, and I'm like. It was a day that I started training after I was sick. So I was like, dude, I don't want you in my face right now. Like, I'm I'm working
I'm
out.
working on my face and working on my body.
Yeah, so that's like another thing too. I'm like, when I go in the gym, like I'm there to train and like that's it. Like I'm extremely serious when I'm working out. I'm not laughing and joking around. Like I am serious. So like if you watch the YouTubes, like it's just me, working out. But that's, how it should be when you're an athlete. Like that's your work too. Like when I go to the gym, like I'm going to work.
Mm-hmm.
So that's also another new venture, our YouTube channel.
Is that your name or is that?
I think it's
Fit?
under Form Fit.
Okay.
Coaching.
We'll include everything.
Yeah.
So people can find it.
I think that's it. I'm not really
Okay.
on Facebook. I always forget to check it.
Okay.
I feel like it's just all like my friends from Aberdeen that all their babies.
Mhm.
Like
Babies and weddings.
babies and weddings, yeah.
That's what Facebook is.
Yeah.
Family vacations.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll include all of Tara's information.
Yes.
So thanks so much for being here.
Thank you
It's so
guys.
much fun.
Yes.
We'll have to have you back at some point, maybe after
Yes.
Pittsburgh when you have a little bit of a break.
Yes, or maybe after I qualify for the Olympia again.
Yes. Yeah, that too. So.
Yes.
Well, thanks again. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're watching or if you're listening on audio. Rate us 5 stars and obviously share with a friend. We will catch you guys next time.
Toodaloo.
See ya.